In this video, we're going to learn how to multiply fractions and mixed numbers. Let's begin by talking about how to multiply fractions first, and then we'll do mixed numbers next. So to start, multiplying fractions, all you have to do is line them up. Then once you line up your fraction that you are multiplying, you'll just multiply straight across. After you multiply straight across, the last thing that you'll need to do is make sure that you always put your fraction into simplest form by simplifying it. If your simplified fraction is an improper fraction, then you will need to make sure and change it back into a mixed number in the end. So let's take a look at a couple examples. Here in example 1, we have 4/5 times 2/3. So what we'll do is the first rule said that we need to multiply straight across. So I'm going to take the 4 and multiply it times the 2. So 4 times 2 equals 8. Then I'll look at the bottom at my denominators and I'll say 5 times 3. And 5 times 3 is 15. So my final answer is 8 over 15. I know it's my final answer because I cannot simplify this fraction any further because no number can go into both 8 and 15. Let's take a look at another example. In example 2, we have 6 over 11 times 2 over 3. So again, the first thing I'll do is multiply my numerators. 6 times 2 gives me 12 as my numerator. And then 11 times 3 is 33. So I've multiplied all the way across, and this should be my final answer, but I do see that this fraction is not in its simplest form. I noticed that a 3 can go into both of these, so if I divide my numerator and my denominator both by 3, it will simplify down to 4 over 11. Then I go back and check, can any number go into both 4 and 11? If my answer is no, then that's my final answer. Here in example 3, I see that I have some bigger fractions than the ones we've been using so far. However, the same rules still apply. I start by multiplying straight across. 12 times 13 equals 156. Then let's do our denominators. 65 times 24 will give me 1,560. So these are some pretty big numbers, but I can tell that there is one number that can go into both of these very easily, and that's 156. So I'll divide both of these by 156. 156 divided by 156 is 1. And 1,560 divided by 156 is 10. So I know that nothing can be any simpler than 1/10, so that is my final answer. Now let's try multiplying with mixed numbers. So the first thing that we need to do whenever we multiply by mixed numbers is to turn it back into an improper fraction. Once we have changed our mixed number into an improper fraction, then we just use the same rules that we have been using for multiplying fractions and go straight across. After you go straight across, then make sure you simplify your final answer, and if it is an improper fraction, turn it back into a mixed number. So now that we've gone over the rules for multiplying mixed numbers, remember they're going to be the same as multiplying regular fractions, other than we have to change our mixed number into an improper fraction. Let's do a couple of examples together. Here in example 4, we have 2 1/2 times 8 3/4. So the first thing I need to do is take these mixed numbers and change them into improper fractions. Once I have changed these into improper fractions, I'll do just like I did earlier. I'll multiply straight across. So 5 times 35 equals 175. And then I will multiply 2 times 4, which gives me 8. I see that the only thing that can really go into 8 would be 2 or 4, and 2 and 4 cannot go into 175. So once I'm at this point, all I'll need to do is change it back to a mixed number. If you are still having trouble changing improper fractions to mixed numbers, please watch the video about changing improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers back to improper fractions. Now let's take a look at example 5. We have 3 4/7 times 2 3/8. My first step will be to turn both of these into improper fractions. Now that they're both improper fractions, all I have to do is multiply straight across. So 25 times 19 gives me 475. Whenever I multiply the bottom, or denominators, 7 times 8, that is 56. So this one I don't really see anything that can immediately go into both of these, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a mixed number, and once I turn it into a mixed number, I can see if there's anything that I can simplify. Whenever I turned my improper fraction to a mixed number, I see that I have 8 and 27 over 56. So I don't know any number that can go into both 27 and 56, so that means it is in its simplest form, so that is my final answer. I hope this video has helped you learn more about multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. Happy mathing!